Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 6, the Support for Patients and Communities Act. It includes my bill, named for Dr. Todd Graham, who was senselessly murdered last year over an opioid prescription. With this legislation, we can build on Dr. Graham's legacy of treating patients not only for their pain, but for their underlying causes. Today, we are taking bipartisan action to expand access to non-opioid alternatives and give our communities better tools to prevent and treat addiction. Thank you, and I yield back.
This past year, American Specialty Health had the opportunity to contribute to a bill called the Dr. Todd Graham Pain Management, Treatment, and Recovery Act, H.R. 6110. This bill was developed by Congresswoman Jackie Walorski's office in Indiana. The provisions, named in honor of Dr. Graham, aimed to expand access to non-opioid alternative pain treatments and technologies. The bill passed the House unanimously in June and became part of a major bipartisan package of legislation that was approved and scheduled to be signed by President Trump in October. On October 25th, we had the honor of welcoming Congresswoman Walorski to our offices in Carmel, Indiana, to meet our people, share her story, and thank us for our contributions and support of this important legislation.
I am very grateful that you're here in Indiana and just fellow Hoosiers doing the right thing for the sake of right, so thank you for that. So I've been involved in being made aware of this opioid epidemic. When I was first elected, I was on the Armed Services Committee and I was on the VA Committee. And what was happening with our veterans who are coming home and involved in these issues like PTSD, amongst others, and the alarming suicide rate. So I would sit on that committee and hear horror stories from around our country as it pertained to veterans. And so I knew Dr. Todd Graham in my community, so he has been a doctor there forever. And we had had many conversations over the past 3 or 4 years about where this issue of addiction was coming from and how just pervasive it had become around the country. And, you know, I knew about some of the research and some of the organizations at the national level that he was connected with, always looking, always pursuing. He treated, his concept was, you know, treating patients, not just pain. And so he was always on the cutting edge of being the guy to go to when nothing else is working and being open to looking at alternatives and those kinds of things. He was one of the first doctors that literally was murdered in this country over an opioid prescription. But here's what's significant about that story and about how Todd's legacy will live on forever. That story made national news. And when that national news happened, as a physician gunned down in cold blood, our country stopped and paused for a second. And all of a sudden, the ripple effect that sent around our country, what bad, terrible, horrific news that was, changed the mind of our country. And I'm telling you, I've never seen in my time in Congress, I've never seen an issue that has united our country at the federal, state, and local levels. And I've never seen members, House and Senate, move as quickly as we have moved to actually start sending money down to the front line. The one thing that makes our country unique is that one person can make a difference. And Todd is just exemplary of that, of something horrible that happened and how it's been turned around as a lifelink for folks in our country.
I had a chance to work with Congresswoman Walorski's legislative aide, Martin Schultz, as he was writing up that bill and some of the study components of it. And the bill actually is 660 pages long. I won't ask you to read it.
And I won't recite it.
In 2 sections. Section I, Section H are specifically titled for Dr. Graham and acknowledging his legacy and this important message that we just heard. And certainly ASH is leading that charge in our work. For a lot of folks that end up with opioid challenges, there's a beginning of that journey. And the journey is, are there options available, enough access available to non-opioid solutions so folks can get the help they need?
But I don't want this moment to pass without me thanking you for what you do. This bill is about you guys. This bill is about the millions of people that are behind the scenes right now that are working every day for a solution to something that if you weren't here, there would be no bill. So more than anything else, I am standing here thanking you for coming to work every single day, for committing to do what you do, for the passion that gets you up in the morning and gets you up the next morning. That stuff matters.
We're really excited about today, that you're with us today here at American Specialty Health on a very special day. We've learned this morning that President Trump is going to sign we call the H.R. 6 bill, and we're very excited about that. And how do you, Congresswoman Walorski, how can we as a company take very practical steps forward in helping to support what's in this bill? 660 pages of very important information and requirements for the government to step forward. And one piece of it's about a study to learn how to use these services most efficiently in a cost-efficient way, which is something we're very interested in. It's not just providing the services, making sure they're done in a way that is affordable, but also in evidence-based fashion. So how does organizations actually take a practical step forward?
This is the hard work right here. This was the deepest reach. This is the highest mountain. This is the hard work. And when President Trump signs this bill and this thing goes into action, I will tell you that I'm a little territorial on this stuff. It means a lot. It means a lot to me, and I'm passionate about it. My job becomes making sure that the agencies in charge of this are accountable to the American people, and that it's transparent. One of the things that's so important about this, and one of the reasons why this is such a big win, is to take every town and city in our country and basically say, this is the new standard. This is where we're going, and this is where we're going together. We're going together as doctors and law enforcement. We're going together as VA professionals. We're going together with all the utility kind of technical advice and those kinds of things, and then technical mandates and those kinds of things. It'll take our country together instead of step by step. It'll unite our country and the medical community that this is where we're going step by step, and this is why. And for the first time, to actually have money for research, to do a study that then is available to the entire medical community, and to allow then that to you know, kind of meld into our medical communities as they educate each other, as they look at redoing and redrafting protocols, as they look at what options are there for their patients. And, you know, I believe, and I'm so excited when the president signs this, you'll see me doing a high five. But I think making sure that we have a uniform amount of information coming out to the entire country. They can adapt it, they can be flexible with it, but more than anything else, it gives doctors tools to say, not everybody's going to be in this cookie cutter anymore. It's not just going to be about highly addictive drugs anymore, that we're taking a step forward and we're doing it together.
Tomorrow I'm flying to Washington, D.C. to have a meeting with AHIP, American Health Insurance Plans, American Medical Association, American College of Physicians, American College of Family Practice, and a couple other medical organizations to begin to address that exact question using low back pain as the beginning, the proxy topic. How do we begin to bring the known information together and get it out to physicians and patients to begin to use it? I'd like to know, you know, what could I, who've helped with some of this, a little bit of this, do tomorrow or the next day to help him and help you as you are thinking about influencing HHS, et cetera?
You know, we can make sure we can set up appointments. We can set up, you know, very regularly scheduled times to be able to meet with CMS and HHS and have conversations with real people who are in charge of rolling this out. From the airplane perspective, looking down, what you can all do is keep doing what you're doing. Keep pressing in on that edge and keep thinking outside of the box, because this bill is so much about all of you that work behind the scenes that make this happen. I'm not the one doing the research. I'm not the one doing any kind of development. I'm the advocate for all of you that find incredible ways to save lives. And what this whole thing is about is if Marty or myself or you can save one life or 10 lives or 20 lives around this country because of what we honestly do from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, that's what this bill's about.
You know, our work on the House floor today is the culmination of more than a year's effort to craft legislation in the Energy and Commerce Committee that will save lives and help stem the tide of the opioid crisis that has struck at the health of our people wherever they live in America.
This bill is titled with the perfect title, the Support for Patients and Communities Act. It's bipartisan. It's high time we do it. It is a very, very strong and good step in the right direction.